Hi guys, welcome back to the Light Show. What a week it has been. Probably when I'm posting this, it'll be Thursday. Today is Wednesday. Um, but how is your guys' week going? For me, it feels like I'm on a constant roller coaster that doesn't seem to be ready to let off. But I know a lot of it has to do with retrograde, and we're almost done. And when you're listening to this, it will be the last day of retrograde. Yay! Insert applause here. Yay! And then we go immediately into another retrograde for Saturn. Yay! So for my cardinal signs, good luck, bitches. It's gonna be a good one. I think honestly, I'm not scared for this Saturn return. I know like Aries, it's like a Saturn return for us, like it's supposed to be a big year, but I believe that there's gonna be something big happening for me. And I'm so excited for that. And I'm so ready. And like I know change is scary, but with change comes new experiences. Also, for those that are actually watching me and not just listening to me, I unfortunately have to not wear my glasses during these things because, and I'll show you for the people that are watching, for the people that are not watching, I got new glasses not too long ago, and I thought it would be a smart idea to put the lenses so that they reflect Blu-ray so, or the blue light or whatever. So now every time I record with any kind of light, it looks like this. And I think this is worse than me just not being able to see. So I'm just gonna pull an Ariana Grande and like hope to the gods that I don't have to look very hard. But also, I'm gonna try this new thing holding my mic with a flower. I think it's really cute. I saw it on TikTok and I don't remember who did it, so I can't credit it, but if you see it, and you somehow see this, thank you for the idea because this was so smart. Like I don't like holding my microphone, but also I feel like it doesn't have the same quality when I put it on my shirt. So I'm really excited to do this because I love flowers. Fun fact. I love flowers. Although I'm not a huge fan of roses, which seems counterintuitive because as a flower bitch, you would think I love roses. I just feel like they're just I don't know, like they're fine. Like I'm not dogging on roses. If like roses are your favorite flower, totally get it. I just I love that flowers can be so different and so many colors and different shapes, and I just feel like roses are so basic. Sorry. Roses and sunflowers. No hate to those that love them. They're beautiful flowers all by themselves. I just personally am not the biggest fan of those, but to each their own. Today I really wanted just to focus on deconstructing emotions, which I know sounds really broad, but I'm going to leave it very broad because I'm not quite sure how this is going to go. I'm not really sure what passage, what way um, this podcast is going to go, at least for this episode. So I'm just going to leave it open of emotions. So a little bit of backstory. I I have always been from my core an empath. I feel so much. Sentry, I feel everything times 1,000 sometimes. Like, especially growing up, I really struggled differentiating my emotions versus other emotions, like other people's emotions, primarily because like I grew up in a household where I had to read my dad's emotions, like when he was in a bad mood or when he was in a good mood, to kind of get the lay of the land of whether or not to walk on eggshells. And so I learned really early on how to like read people and how they're feeling, even when they don't know that they're being obvious about it. And so, in hand with that, in being able to really analyze emotions, I myself had to be really one with my emotions and really like in tune with myself because like I just felt a lot. And growing up, I was constantly told what a crybaby I was because I was. No hate. I was a crybaby. But also, like, why was that so bad? Who gives a fuck if I was crying? Who gives a fuck if I had a lot of motive? Who gives a fuck if I had a lot of emotions? Why is that? Why is that a problem? Why, as a society, do we feel the need to constantly dog on emotions? Like, they are like natural things. They are natural things that we feel. So why is it such a fucking problem? Why is it that people get so up in arms about people being sad or angry or like literally feeling anything that's not baseline? And like, I used to have these friends, and for whatever reason this memory's coming up, so I'm gonna talk about it. When I was 18, I found out I had PCOS, which I believe now it's called PMOS, but for right now I'm just gonna say PCOS because that's just what I know. Anyways, I found out at 18 that I had PCOS, and with that I had really non-existent periods, let's be honest. And their main when I had gone to the doctor and like found out why I wasn't having periods, they're like, "Oh yeah, you have this thing called PCOS. Here's some birth control. The birth control will make you have a period and like have fun type shit." And so I went on this birth control, and I remember I was so like I felt like my emotions were on razor blades. I was always so like anything could trigger me. Mind you, back then like I'm an Aries, okay? I'm Latina. I'm like a firecracker. It's really easy to just kind of light me. I fizzle out very quickly, especially now. But back then, like it was like, especially once I got on birth control, it was like I was a completely different person. Mind you, I was going through essentially puberty way after everybody else did. And so I remember being on birth control, and I hated being on birth control. I hated being on birth control, like for a multitude of reasons. Not even just the fact that it fucks your hormones up like no other, but also like it just constantly made me feel on edge and like constantly made me really uncomfortable in my body. But during this time, because I was so on edge and because I felt so uncomfortable in my body, um, I would cry a lot. I would cry a lot, and like things would just trigger me. And like, I had these two friends at the time who I had grown up with them, and they were my best friends at the time. But I remember there was this one time we were in the car, and they were probably being bitches. Let's be honest, they were probably being mean or saying some shit because I remember them talking shit about me crying and like being they got upset with me about crying, about being upset. And like I feel like there was a lot of times growing up where I had those kinds of things happen to me where I would show an emotion or I would cry and people would get upset because they were upset that I was crying, or they felt like I didn't have a reason to be crying, and so they inherently got upset with me because I was feeling these very natural emotions, which that's not my fucking fault. Hello? And I was on fucking birth control, finally getting my first period at 18 years old, trying to work through hormones and birth control at the same time. But yes, let's be mean to the one that's figuring the shit out. But there was like a lot of times in my life where anytime I would just show big emotions, it would cause a really bad reaction. And like I remember this is gonna be a lot of I remember, so bear with me. And then we'll go into talking about deconstructing that. But I remember even when I was dating my ex, my most recent ex, um, I remember there was this one time where I don't remember what the fuck he did. I'm sure he was being a fucking dickwad, as he is a narcissistic dickwad. And I was crying. I was crying at him, and I was so upset. And I was literally like standing in front of him, crying. And he was hugging me. And then I remember like I was like a couple minutes into me crying, and I still remember him like not pushing me away, but like pushing me away so he can look at me. He's like, "Can you fucking stop crying already? Are you fucking done? Like, this is fucking ridiculous. Are you done crying?" And I remember, like, "Oh, yeah, I guess I am. You're so right. You're so right. I shouldn't be crying about how badly you're fucking treating me right now. You're so right. This is my fucking problem." And like, I think after that interaction was when I really started to like not feel what I wanted to feel. Like I just wouldn't show emotions, or I'd hide my emotions. Like when he was sleeping, I'd cry, or like I wouldn't like communicate if I was upset because it was always reacted in such an awful way. And so for once I had broken up with him, which mind you, this was back in 2021. So back in 2021, after I had broken up with him, I luckily had the time to mentally break up with him before I actually had to stop seeing him, which helped a lot. So by the time I was done with that relationship, like moved out, no longer speaking to him, like I didn't cry. Like I cannot tell you a single time after I moved out of my house with him where I cried. I didn't give a fuck. I was so happy to be gone. Like I was like, "Oh, bye. Like we're done. We're done." And like I didn't cry. But that also kind of rolled into like the rest of my life. So I not only didn't cry about him, but I also just wouldn't cry. And like I remember being so happy. I was like, "Oh my god, look at me! I haven't cried." Like I almost felt like it was a boat of like achievement. Like like it was an achievement. Like fuck yeah! Like I haven't cried. Like I don't cry. Like I'm not some whiny little bitch that fucking cries. Like I'm good. Like I'm better than everyone else. No, untrue. I was unhealed, and I was going through a lot of shit. But I just couldn't express my emotion because every time I expressed my emotions, it would have a negative reaction. And so I remember probably blah, 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 probably 2 years after that is when I started to really like allow myself to start crying again. And it was one of those things like again, it was still like in hiding. It wasn't very like I still struggled to really cry in front of my roommate who has known me literally almost all of my life. And like it was something that I really had to like work on being okay with. And as I continued on my journey of self-love and continued my journey on just like finding myself, I realized like what why was I stopping myself? Like why was I stopping myself? Like crying is okay. Like I cannot stress you enough. If you haven't heard this before in your life, it is okay to cry. Like like and I know that sounds like that's common sense, but it's not though. If you're listening to this and someone hasn't told you this, it's okay to cry. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to feel the emotions you're feeling. And I feel like when we grow up, like they always like be tough and like get it together. Like showing emotion means weakness. You crying shows weakness, and that's so untrue. How is you expressing how you feel a weakness? You're literally just communicating. And like one thing about emotions is they demand to be felt. Like they demand to be acknowledged, they demand to be felt. And if you don't acknowledge and you don't feel them, that's when they start bottling up little by little, bottling up inside of you until you pop because it's got to go somewhere. Eventually, it'll come out just in a very different, unhealthy way rather than just letting it out and feeling what you need to feel and communicating. You bottle everything up, and then the slightest little thing. It's like that saying of like the hay that broke the camel's back, right? That little tiny little piece of hay that should have been insignificant is what makes you fucking blow. But because you didn't release anything, the emotions are still going to be acknowledged. The emotions are still going to be felt in such a more in such a destructive way because they're going to come out either way. And you can either choose to feel them when you feel them and work through them when you feel them, or you can just bottle everything up and then it'll come out later. The choice is yours. But speaking from experience, as someone who has, really truly not only acknowledge but like is proud to be a crybaby, I cannot express to you how much easier it is just to express myself. And when I do have these really big emotions of sadness or really big emotions of anger, like I let myself feel it. Like if I want to cry and I don't know the reason and I don't, like literally out of nowhere, I'm just like, I want to cry. I let myself cry. Because who the fuck cares? And why do you care? Why the fuck do you care if I cry? That sounds like a you problem, bestie, not a me problem. Because once I cry and I let it out and I feel what I have to feel, I take a moment, take a deep breath, and then I move the fuck on. And then it never come like it doesn't come back up because I felt what needed to be felt. I acknowledged the emotions that needed to be acknowledged, and then I move the fuck on. Same thing with anger. Like I very, 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 very rarely let myself stew in anger. Anger is an emotion I don't like to be feeling. And when I do, in the very rare occasions that I do, I let myself feel what I have to feel. If I feel angry, I let myself feel angry. But at the same time, I try to figure out what is triggering this anger, because our emotions are always something that are trying to tell us something. And there's always an underlying reason, regardless of whether we see it on the surface or not. The way that our body is literally trying to tell you what it's feeling, it's always an underlying reason. And so like whenever, specifically anger, but sadness kind of comes and goes, but specifically anger, when I feel angry or when I feel triggered, I really try to sit with myself. I sit with myself, and I know it sounds silly, but really when you're figuring out your emotions and you're figuring out what they mean and how, like why they're making you feel this way, you have to really talk to yourself like a 5-year old and analyze it. And so a lot of it is healing your inner child. So when I remember recently, I had some issues at work with children, really, because they're young children that were just being assholes to me, and they were like trying to bully me, which, mind you, they're 20 years old. Why are you trying to bully a 29-year-old? That's weird behavior. Neither here nor there. But when I had left work, I remember feeling so irritated and so angry, and I had to really sit with myself. Why am I angry right now? Why is this triggering me? Why is this triggering me right now? Because really, it really doesn't matter. So what is the underlying reason of why it's triggering me? And like it, when I had like deconstructed it, what I kind of came up with is it just reminded me a lot of high school. It reminded me a lot of how people would treat me in high school. And like I, when you're trying to figure out why these things trigger, a lot of it does go back to history, back to the past. And like I had to really be like, okay, I see the connection. I see that this was obviously something that triggered me because of XYZ. And like I don't want that to bother me ever again. So I'm going to let it go. And I did. And now they don't bother me anymore. Like, yeah, they still like laugh at me and like make fun of me, but I'm like, that to me is more reflection of you, bestie, than it is of me, because I meet everyone with love. And like if you want to bully me because I'm fat and I'm weird, that's okay. Bully me all you want, but in 10 years, when you're still at that fuck ass job with no future and no fucking prospects of prosperity, that'll be on you too, not on me. And I feel like that's also something that I want to say that I know has been said before, but in case you're listening to this and you've never heard it, anything that is negative or anything that puts you down, or sorry, I should say anybody that says something to you that puts you down, that makes you second guess yourself, that makes you like like in any way capacity brings you down, in any way, it is just projection, which I know is a really hard thing to feel in the moment. But like anything that anybody throws at you is something that they are insecure about themselves, because coming from someone that is healed and like loves myself, I don't do that. Like, I don't go out of my way to talk shit about somebody. My dog was being annoying and I lost my train of thought. So I'm just going to continue on with what I think I was saying. But as someone that's healed, as someone that's healed, I don't go around being mean to people. Like, I don't find any happiness in that. Like, I don't get any joy from bringing someone else down, for making someone else possibly feel like shit. I feel like that's kind of just shitty. I don't, and people that do like to do those things are always in lack. They always hate themselves. And I've said this before, but like, hurt people in so many ways. Like, people that have no self-confidence and people that hate themselves can only do what they know: hate other people and make other people feel like shit because they feel like shit. So because I feel like shit, you should feel like shit. Because why the fuck should you feel better than I feel about myself when you are fatter, when you are uglier, when you are XYZ? That's how their brain works. Well, if that's you, not me, bestie. What you have going on, problems up here, is not my problem. That's a you problem that you should probably go to therapy for, if I'm being honest, but whatever. And so I feel like the best thing you can do for yourself is just to let yourself feel whatever the fuck you want. And like, I know, again, that sounds pretty self explanatory, but I know so many people that don't do that. They start to feel something, and then they push it away. They push it away because they don't want to deal with it. That doesn't solve anything. That doesn't make it go away. Just because you put your head in the sand does not mean the emotions go away. And like, wouldn't you just rather deal with it and acknowledge it and then move on? Because then it goes away. Because once you acknowledge it, once you feel it, it's not this like weight anymore, because you've released it. You've let it go. And that really is what life is, right? It's just letting shit go. Why are you going to let the burdens of the world weigh you down? Like, there's so much icky, yucky things in this world. Why add on your own emotions? Why add on resentment? Why add on any more than what this world already gives us? And like, I don't know. That's just how I feel about the situation, and I I also feel that it's important to say that if you are somebody that struggles expressing your emotions, and expressing how you feel because of past relationships, or past, even relationships with family and friends growing up, I know how hard it is to like let yourself feel things, but start small, right? If you're by yourself and you're like, I kind of want to cry, just let yourself cry. Who's gonna know? Who's gonna know? Nobody. If you're still like embarrassed and you still don't want to, like, be like loud and proud like I am, crybaby, just do it slowly but surely. And a lot of life, a lot of self-work is practice. It's practice. It's really practicing being nice to yourself and like being kind to your inner child. And I know that sounds silly, but like, your inner child truly holds the key to your soul, because the inner child had no control over the environment that was around them, the people in them, anything. And so now, as an adult, you do have control. You do have control over what you listen to, who you listen to, and what you let affect you, because you are in control of yourself. You are in control of your soul, of your body, of your ears, of your eyes, right? Like, it's very much of like, whatever you allow in your sphere is what's going to penetrate you. And that's why, like, I know a lot of people go no contact with family, and they go no contact with narcissistic people in their lives, because of the fact that you have a choice. You have a choice to remove that thing, that person, so that it no longer can affect you. And your inner child didn't have that choice. Your inner child, unfortunately, had extenuating circumstances and extenuating people that just had control over you. Then they forced you to hear these things, and they forced to you to endure this abuse, and for you to second guess yourself, and for you to feel shitty. And like, the more you work on healing that relationship with your inner child, of like, young me still needs to be heard, young me wants to be acknowledged and healed. Like, once that relationship gets stronger, and once that relationship is able to flourish, that's when every other area of your life flourishes with it. And like, I know my biggest thing of like, I think being undiagnosed, growing up different and autistic, it just made me second guess myself, because I'm like, why can't I just be like everybody else? Why can't I just not struggle in school? Why can't I look like everybody else? Why can't I insert lack mindset here? Why can't I just be like everybody else? But it's because I was never meant to be like everybody else. I am different. I am autistic. And I love that about myself now. I love that I'm autistic. And like, obviously back then I didn't know what autism was, especially where I grew up. Because where I grew up, autism was a bad thing. Autism bad. Always. Like, I remember growing up, my mom had this coworker who had an autistic daughter who was very aggressive and had a lot of big behaviors. And like, back then, I know we did not have the same resources, and no shade to that lady. Like, I understand the resources were different, and in the town that we were in, I get it. There wasn't much she could do. But like, I remember being terrified. I was like, oh my god, autistic people are scary. They're scary and they're weird. Like, I was terrified. And I remember when I got my first job in an autistic clinic, and I was scared. I was like, oh my god, am I going to be able to handle this? Am I going to be able to handle these crazy ass kids? Because like, growing up, I've worked with children, I cannot stress to you enough, all of my fucking life. All of my life I've worked with children, probably starting at the age of 8. When I used to go to church, I used to always go into the nursery and like help with the babies. And like, I believe like at 10 I started babysitting. So like, children and me, always. Like, for the longest time I thought I was going to be a mother. That may still very much be in the cards. I don't think I'm going to give birth myself. Maybe adoption one day. We'll see. I don't know. The gods just tell me what's happening when it happens, and I don't worry about anything else. But like, I was like, oh my god, I'm so scared. I'm not going to be able to handle these kids. And then I ended up working in this field, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I love these children. And I personally connect so much better with autistic children than I do with neurotypical children. And like, I love autistic children. Yes, they're difficult. I'm not going to lie. They are very difficult. They are hard to maneuver sometimes, and they feel a lot, which, same again, goes hand in hand with me being a crybaby, because I just was autistic and I had very big emotions that needed to be felt. But like, I love being autistic. I love that working with these kids, I was able to explore myself, and like, my inner child got to get partially healed because of this job, because of this field. And I love that. I'm so 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 thankful for that. I'm so thankful that I got to experience being weird with other children that are weird, and be like my most authentic self with them. And I think that's what I love so much, is like, especially with where I work right now, I work with autistic, well, it's a mix of like adults with disabilities, but like, all the adults there are very much like this is a paycheck, which I get, which I get. But I am not like that. I am weird. I am weird, I am loud, and I refuse to dim myself anymore. And like, they look at me like I'm fucking crazy, which I am. But isn't that so much funner? Because I know I'm the bitch that has the most fun in the whole fucking room. I have the most fun. I'm fucking over here running, yelling, doing all kinds of shit while you guys are just sitting there watching. How boring. Boring. Like, I could not be me. So, like, I'm so thankful that I'm weird. I'm so thankful that I'm autistic. I'm so thankful for all of the things. All of the things. Because it made me who I am. And I'm pretty fucking amazing, if I do say so myself. And that's what I've been told. That's what I've been told, and that's what I believe. Because why would I believe otherwise? And that's why also, when people project things onto me, like I'm annoying and I'm loud, accurate and accurate, who fucking cares? At least you're entertained. At least you're enjoying the show. At least you're sitting here still listening to me, probably 30 minutes in. Because I'm weird and I'm different. And I'm unique and I'm funny and I'm a silly little guy. But you're still here, huh? You're still listening. Because if you're hearing me say this, you're still listening. And isn't that kind of the point? To be myself? To entertain the masses, you know? Because why the fuck not? Why am I going to be boring? I'm so happy I wasn't like everybody else. That's so fucking boring. I'm so sorry that I didn't peak in high school. I'm so sorry that once I graduated high school, my life wasn't just fucking boring and I just did like everybody fucking else that I fucking lived with. Like, the main, back where I lived, the main goal of life, right? The main goal was to get married, have a sustained job, right? At insert job here, which there wasn't very many jobs back there because it was such a small town. It's growing now, which could never and would never go back. It's a red state now. Fuck. It's a red state in California. It is a red fucking city in California. It's a red dot. It's fucking disgusting. Stay out of here. Stay out of my face. But the main goal is to get married, have a stable job, and have children. That's it. That is your goal. Like, those are the main fucking goals of being in that town. And then from there you kind of just peak and like, that's so, no hate. No hate, no judgment if that's what you want to do. Totally fine. No hate, no judgment. Everybody wants to live a different life. Personally, that's boring to me. Personally, to me, that's boring. Because, like, I meant for so much more than that. And, like, even just my time of being alone, like, single, like, I have had so many side quests and I have met so many unique people and I've done so many unique things. Like, I can't wait for what the future holds because I know it's going to be even fucking more amazing. You know what I mean? Like, this is not my peak. This right here is not my peak. This is my beginning. There's so much there's so much more for me to experience. And like, I couldn't imagine being stuck in that fucking town. Again, if you're from this said town, because you know me, no hate. No hate or no judgment. I'm not dogging on the way you live, dog. I promise. I promise. If that's how you take it, that's not my problem. But I don't mean it in a hateful way. I couldn't imagine doing it. I couldn't imagine just having a husband and having kids and that be my life for the rest of my life until I'm what, 40, 50? Like, I want to live La Vida Loca. Like, I want to go travel. Oh my God, I want to go to Japan. I do not know how we got here. I do not know how we got here. And that's kind of what this podcast is going to be. We're just yapping. So even though we started with emotions, maybe we'll come back to it. Who knows? But right now we're just yapping. So if you're still here, if you're still listening, I hope you're having fun because I'm having fun. I'm having so much fun. I'm having so much fun just talking to the fucking camera because like I want this to feel like you're sitting in front of me. Just we're just chatting over coffee. Just chatting over, stuff of tea. You know? That's how I want this to feel. I want to feel like I'm talking to someone and I'm reaching someone because that's what I want to do. I want someone to feel heard and understood and seen. And I hope that that's coming across. And I manifest that it is. Anyways, but yeah, there's so many things I want to do in this world. And like I'm not gonna share all my secrets and my little tidbits because like that's nobody's business. It's nobody's business. And like right now, my life is kind of under a microscope. Hello. Right now, my life is kind of under a microscope because I'm doing something that no one that knew me before, a couple months ago would even imagine me doing because that's not who I was. And I what I need you guys to understand is like I as a person, as a spiritual being, am constantly evolving. I'm constantly trying to better myself. Like this evolution is going to be a forever thing. A forever thing. Like growing and working on your shadow, on like things that are not like pleasing to the eye, is a forever thing. This work never stops. And so like I'm always trying to get better. I'm always trying to be a better version of myself. And so like I understand that for some who have known me in the past, I cannot begin to stress enough. I am not that same person. I'm not that same girl from high school. I'm not that same girl from that last job that you met me at. I'm not even the same girl that I was fucking in February when I started this new job. That girl is still different than the girl that's sitting in front of you. Even though, yes, my body and my face has changed a little bit because, consistency. But my inner being is so different. And like that's what's so hard to like see because like you guys obviously can't see inside my brain, which I wouldn't want you to. Well, I guess I would want you to because it's pretty nice up here. And it's la di da di da all the time for the most part. But like I there's nothing more in this life that I want to do than better myself and better my life because like it's just better that way. Like I don't want to be miserable. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be down bad because my life isn't what I thought it would be because really sometimes all you need is a change of perspective. And like that's something that my spirit team has really worked with me on, of like changing my perspective on things. And like we're going to go into that just a little bit. So what I mean by that is like, for example, if I drop my fucking water, right? Or what if I drop my fucking cup of coffee, right? I dropped my fucking cup of coffee. In the past, that could have really triggered me and be like, fuck, I just paid for that shit. I can't believe I just fucking dropped that fucking coffee. I can't believe I just wasted all that money. But you see how I'm spiraling already of like, this, this, this. And I had to really look at it from a different perspective. I dropped the coffee and I'm like, damn, well, I obviously wasn't meant to drink that coffee. Maybe there was something wrong with it. Maybe it would have given me the shits. I don't know. And that's the thing is like I'm not meant to know. I'm not meant to understand why things happen. But what I can look at it and rather than get upset over spilled milk, I can be like, "Damn, that sucks. Well, let's clean it up." Cuz it's not going to change the fact that I dropped it. It's not going to change the fact that it's spilled now on the ground. all I can do is control my output and control my reaction to said thing, and view it from a different perspective. And that's life. If you view life as this, well, fuck this and that, your life will always, your mindset will always be, uh, when it could be like, damn, well, that didn't work out for me, but something else will. Because something always will. At least for me. Because everything always works out for me. Because I trust in my spirit guides, and I trust in my life, and I trust in what I put out in this world, and I know that I will receive what I put out. So in turn, I don't let myself get hung up on silly things, but it's all on how you view things. Your life is truly just what you put out. What you let your brain do. If you let your brain take a hold of you and let yourself be negative, your life will always be negative. Always. I cannot stress this enough. If you just shit on your life verbally, if you constantly shit on your life will be shit. Your mouth is so fucking powerful. And like, again, this might be so too woo woo for some. That's fine. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to do these things. I'm just merely sharing my experience and sharing the way I view things. Your mouth is one of the most powerful tools you can ever have. You are the creator of your own reality. And no one can convince me otherwise because I have been proven right time and time again. This setup you see right here, I didn't fucking pay for it. It was gifted to me. You know what I mean? Like I just receive blessings because I put out blessings, because I love people, because I help people. I like pour myself into others. And so the universe pours back into me. And because I verbally say how amazing my life is. And I'm also, the best thing you can do for yourself is become grateful for when things don't work out for you. Like I had a job interview a couple months ago to be an operational manager. And like, I remember telling myself, if I don't get this job, I'll be okay. Yes, it's a very big role. And yes, they're very, very big shoes to fill that I had never even thought about doing. But also at the same time, like, if it's meant to be, it'll be. If not, it won't. Because that very much has been my reality of like, when things don't work out for me, it's always for a reason. Always. Regardless if in the moment I understand it or not. And so fast forward to now, I obviously did not get the job. And I cannot stress enough how thankful I am that I didn't get that position. Because, like, now I found out that there's people there that I don't like. And had I gotten the job, I would have had to be their manager. And I would have hated it. I would have been miserable because I don't like them. And then I would have been stuck in this position where, frankly, the stress is enormous, enormous stress. Being an operational manager is not for the weak. And I give props to the good ones. And I mean the good ones. And if for whatever reason the one that's not good is watching me, first of all, be nice to my fucking roommate, you cunt. And be better. Be better. But being an operational manager is hard. So, like, instead of my life being easy the way that it should be, because I believe, I, I believe my life should be easy. I believe that I should just literally just get paid to exist. I believe that, like, blessings should just fall into my lap. Because why the fuck not? Because why the fuck not? And so, in turn, because I verbally say it and I verbally affirm it and I believe it, and that's the thing, I believe in myself, it's going to happen. It's going to happen because why not? I have yet to be proven wrong because I love my life. I love my life. But it also goes in hand with this, even the things that I don't inherently like. I'm thankful for because they're needed, because they're teaching me something, because they're helping me grow. The things that I may not like and the things that I don't understand are always for my benefit. The universe always does things for us, regardless of what if we understand them or not, to benefit us if we are willing to receive it and if we're willing to look at it as a blessing. And like I have really worked on that. I view things that are difficult as blessings because they all teach me something. And a lesson at the end of the day is a blessing because I learned something from that. And that's what it is. I learned. I learned and I applied. I didn't just experience it and then like, well, fuck me. The universe fucking hates me. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Like, the universe loves you, or God, or whatever the fuck you believe in. You know, they love you. They want what's best for you. And, like, how you take these lessons and what you react in those, like, react to those lessons, that's what you'll get in life. That's what will be reflected back to you. This life, this world, this timeline is a reflection of what you are willing to accept, what you are willing to put out. And if you're willing to accept greatness and blessings and happiness, then you will be provided those things. But in hand, you also have to give back good things and believe in yourself and be nice to yourself. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if I say this in every reading. Be nice to yourself. Fuck. People are so mean to themselves, and I get it because me too. I used to be so mean to myself. And like, even when you don't realize you're being mean to yourself, sometimes we're just mean. Like, I literally had this talk with my mom the other day of like, she's like, well, I'm lazy. I'm like, oh, lazy where? That bitch has never been lazy in her life. Never. But she tells herself that. She tells herself that she's lazy because that's what she's heard in the past from other people. But in reality, she's not. But that's her own self doubt, her own self, like, mean talk. So be nice to yourself. When you catch yourself, like, and it's so hard to let yourself relax. I get it. I get it. We feel as a society, especially here in America, that we should be constantly working, constantly go, 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 go. Time is money, time is money, time is money. But like, sometimes just take a breath, right? Just take a breath. Just unclench the jaw, right? Just relax. Just let yourself relax. It's okay. Time is infinite, really. Time is infinite and still so short. It's crazy. But like, there's no rush. There's no rush. Whatever is meant to be accomplished will be accomplished. Whatever is meant to happen is going to happen, regardless if you rush it or not. Regardless if you make yourself feel shitty for resting, you will still get where you need to go. You know what I mean? Like, it'll still, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And like, that's my thing. Even like, when bad things happen, like, they happen. I'm like, that's life. That's life, baby. My love, that is life. Bad things happen. Even things that are awful and horrendous, that's life. That will never change. But in hand, so many good things can happen too. So as much as there's bad, there's always so much good. And as I wrap up this episode, I'm gonna pour some love into you right now. In case you haven't heard it, right? And again, I want to pour in love that you may have never heard or received. And it may sound silly, but I really want you to feel open to it and like really receive what I'm going to tell you because I feel that it's important to hear it sometimes. Even when we don't realize we need to hear, like, she's just smacking her gums. Yeah, I am. But what I'm saying is still important. You are loved. You are so loved. You are so beautiful, so handsome, so kind. You bring so much to this world, to your life, to the people around you. You bring so much worth into this existence that without you, there would be a piece missing. You are everything that you could ever want. You are more wonderful than the mean things your brain tells you. I want you to give yourself a hug. I know it sounds funny, but give yourself a hug. Give yourself a hug from me, because this is me hugging you, right? I'm hugging you through the screen, through this microphone. Hugs. And like, I love you. And like, even when you don't feel like you deserve it, even when you don't feel like anybody else loves you or anybody else sees you, know that I do. Know that I see you, that your feelings are valid, regardless of what they are. Your feelings are valid. Your feelings are valid. And even if your perspective might not be accurate, the way you feel should never be negated because that is what you feel. Your emotions are valid. Your emotions deserve to be acknowledged, to be validated. And this is me telling you, I validate you. Your feelings are valid. Your emotions are valid. And you deserve to let yourself feel and be whatever they want to be, no matter how uncomfortable it may make you feel in the beginning. But the more you let yourself feel and the more you let yourself just be who you are, the easier it is to just breathe, really. To just breathe, to be in this existence, to be here, right? To be in this world that we call our world, you know? But this is so much fun. I can't wait to do this again. I I just love yapping to the screen. I really do. I really do just love yapping. Yapping. You guys are like my therapy, and I love that for me. Because what a beautiful way to share, you know? And I love that for me. I love that I can just share how I feel with others who might need help sharing how they feel. And for whatever reason, I'm being called, and I love this quote. And again, I don't know why I'm saying this, but never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. And I love that because, like, don't let your fear stop you from achieving greatness. Don't let what others put on you or have said or made you doubt how you feel, how you want to express yourself. Just do it. You just do it. Just this is me telling you, just do it. Fuck it. What's the worst thing that can happen? It doesn't work out the way you wanted. That's okay. If it doesn't work out the way you wanted it to, it's because it wasn't meant to, and something better will come along. Something that is meant for you will come along. That job didn't work out, good, because something else will come. Just do it. Just do it. Tell that person you like them. Tell, you know, tell your friend how you feel. I don't know. I don't know. What's the worst they can do? Say no? Say they don't feel the same? Then they weren't meant for you. Then they weren't meant to be in your life. And that's okay. Because I would much rather know than be fucking sitting here with a thumb up my ass wondering. I hate wondering. Which is also something I'm working on because of the patience. And I try not to let myself wonder. Because I The best thing you can do is stay rooted in reality. Sometimes our mind gets away from us and we imagine all of these things and we come up with all of these scenarios and all of these XYZs in our brains. But that we have no control over that. What we do have control of is right now. Right now, in this present moment when you're listening to this podcast. This is all we have control over, ourselves. In this moment, in this present moment, this is all we have control over. So why wonder about anything else? And you'll never find out unless you try. So try. Try the thing. Tell the person how you feel. You know, move abroad, right? Just do the fucking thing. Just do the fucking thing. If it doesn't work out, try something new. Try something else. And that's how your life becomes better. Bye.